Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We're in Bible study. We are in the Niv, and we will be through 2025. We are in Exodus, chapter 26. And we're going to do all of 26, which takes us to verse 30, 37. So, let's jump in. This particular chapter here is called the tabernacle. So, make the tabernacle, that's the tent, right, with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with a cherubim worked into them by skilled craftsmen. So you're talking about they got to take time to weave a pattern into these curtains, okay? Because it's yarn. So it's got to be woven still. All the curtains are to be the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. When you said it's about 42 feet or 12.5 meters long and about 6 feet or 1.8 meters wide. Join 5 of the curtains together and do the same with the other 5. Make loops of blue material along the edge of the end of the curtain in one set, and do the same with the curtain in the other set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of another set, with the loops opposite each other. Then make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtains together so that the tabernacle is a unit. Okay, so he's talking about how they're all going to come to, because it's got to be a tent. But he's not trying to make it like a 3-sided, sort of tent deal. He's talking about like, a square, or not really necessarily so much of a square. But join the 5 curtains together. He's making it one big assembly of curtains. Think of it sort of like a shower curtain, because it's on rings. Okay. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle. Top. 11 altogether. All 11 curtains are to be the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together in one set and 6 into another set. Fold the 6th curtain double at the front of the tent. So make like a rain flap. Okay. Make 50 loops along the edge of the curtain, and one set also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. Okay, so the loops are for the fastening process, obviously, to me anyway, to the fastening. You got to fasten the curtains to the ring somehow, right? Then make 50 bronze clasps, see, and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. As for the additional length of the tent curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The tent curtains will be a cubit, or C, that is about 1.5 feet, or 0.5 meters, longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. So you bring it inside so you can put it over top of the tabernacle, right? So I get it. They want it to hang down, so to make like a seal, if you will, so it lays flat, not just brushing the ground. Keeps the wind out, because they're going to have things in there that need to, stay. Verse 14, make for the tent a covering of ram skin dyed red, and over that a covering of hides of sea cows, or D, that is dugongs, and that's going to be about, again, waterproofing. Make upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. So E, that is about 15 feet or about 4.5 meters long, and about 2.25 feet or about 0.7 meters wide, with two projections set parallel to each other. Yeah, okay. Make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. Make 24 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and make 40 silver bases to go under them. So keep them up off the ground, right? 2 bases for each frame under each projection. And you're like, why? Moisture. You don't want it getting, they're going to be trekking things across the desert. Who knows when the next time they're going to find an acacia tree to try to stop and hammer out and fix. Because think about what that means. It means all 600,000 people stop so they can try to find a tree of acacia wood to spend the time of the gold craftsman to go. Just means, so just stop. No, right? You want that up off the ground. So you want the moisture of the ground to stay up off it. So, but you also want the tent to hang a little bit lower to help make in a seal, right? So this is also part of why they have to be a little bit longer, because you've got a base that you put under it. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames for the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames for the corners at the far end. At these 2 corners, they must be double from the bottom all the way up to the top. So you're talking about like a reinforcement wall, right? To give it the real rigid structure that it's looking for. Okay. And these 2 corners, they must be double from the bottom all the way to the top, and be fitted into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. So to carry more weight in that place. Also, make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 of those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west and at the far end of the tabernacle. So 5 in each one of those places. So, to help hold the wood, the weight of the ark and the table and all that, right? The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbars with gold, because these are going to be things that are in the permanent presence of God. So they have to be pure. Set up the tabernacle according to the plan shown you on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, with cherubim worked into it by a skilled craftsman. Hang it with gold hooks on 4 posts of acacia wood, overlaid with gold, and standing on 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasp, and place the ark of the testimony behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. Place the table outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle, and put the lampstand opposite on its south side. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer, Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and cast 5 bronze bases for them. Okay, so make this like curtain stand to put there, because they do want to separate, and they have to put the atonement cover over it, because they have rules about who's even allowed to look at the Ark of the Covenant, because it's not really meant for everybody's eyes. So, until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We're in Bible study. We're in the Niv, and we will be through 2025. In 2026, we'll start the KJV. We have several other versions of the Bible, and we will go through those different versions. And then we also do some cross comparison with some languages along the way there. So, in this video, though, we are in Exodus chapter 27, and we are going to do all of chapter 27, which will take us to, it looks like verse 21. So, let's jump in. The altar of burnt offering. Build an altar of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. It is to be square, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits wide. So, first we have F and then G for both the cubits. So the first one, there we go, that is about 4.5 feet or 1.3 meters high. So that's how high it says stood up off the ground. And then the 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide, that is about 75 feet. Is that correct? No, I'm looking at the, am I looking at the right footnote? Yeah, G. That's, no, here we go. That is about 150 feet, or about 46 meters, so that's even bigger. Wow. That's pretty big. Make a horn at each of the 4 corners, so that the horns and the altar are of one piece. Okay? And overlay the altar with bronze. Okay? Make its utensils of bronze. Now, bronze, can hold very high heats and not melt. I have actually. This is called a censer, and it is actually an incense burner. This is made of bronze. It was my grandfather's. I use it every day. Make all its utensils of bronze. Its pots to remove the ashes, and its shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. Make a grating for it, a bronze network, and make a bronze ring at each of the 4 corners of the network. So by the network, they literally mean, like a crosshatch, like a net, like a grill. You would, but not just a grill like you would see on a charcoal grill, but a crosshatch grill. Put it under the 4 corners. Right, put it under the ledge of the altar. Yeah, here we go. Put it under the edge of the altar so that it is halfway up the altar. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar and overlay them with bronze. The poles are to be inserted into the rings, so they will be on 2 sides of the altar when it's carried, because again, it has to be carried everywhere because they're trekking through the desert. So that means it's somebody's job to carry this stuff around. Make the altar hollow. So that's at least a blessing. Out of boards. So an empty box covered in bronze. It is to be made just as you were shown on the mountain. The courtyard. Make a courtyard for the tabernacle. The south side shall be 100 cubits. Okay. Oh, I think the 5 cubits is actually, gee, make sure I'm looking at that. There's actually 7, is that right? What happened there? Oh, I see. It says the same either one. So it's not the same dimension. It's not that big, because I'm looking at this next footnote here for the courtyard, and that's got H in it as well, and that is about 150 feet. So it's like, So this book is missing G. It's got footnote of G here and no dimension down there. Okay, so it's 100 cubits long, so that's about 150 feet long, and it's to have curtains of finely twisted linen with 20 pots and 20 bronze bases with silver hooks and bands on the pots. So think of it as like they're sort of making a little complex of curtains for their worship, that not everybody is supposed to be seeing what's going on in there. Verse 12, the west end of the courtyard shall be 50 cubits, and that's an I, that is about 75 feet or 23 meters wide, and have curtains with 10 posts and 10 bays. On the east end, towards the sunrise. So they're telling you even what direction to point it in when you're, because remember, it's mobile, they're moving it, and they got to reset it up, so they're telling you what direction to point it in. The courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide. Curtains, 15 cubits wide, 15 cubits long, are to be on one side of the entrance. So then we got a footnote of A, that's about 22.5 feet or 6.9 meters. With 3 posts and 3 bases, and curtains 15 cubits long are to be on the other side with 3 posts and 3 bases. So, I mean, if you're like, oh, what in the heck? So these are people who are used to doing construction, but used to having some other engineer or some other person telling them what to do. Lift this thing here and go do that. So they can do the labor, but they might not understand until you start telling them the construction. So they know, they just don't know they know. Okay. Because, I work in an industry where, what I get paid for, that's an active back and forth between me and the people in the field. It's not a game of who is, on top, who's, more correct, who's right, who's wrong. One is, here's what we need to get them to say, yes, you can build this thing. And then there's what they're actually constructing out in the field and making sure that it meets the code, right? So construction workers usually have quite a bit, that's a long way of me saying construction workers have quite a bit of knowledge that they can pass on to the other side about how things actually fit together in the first place. So they don't know that they know, because they're used to someone telling them what to do. And that's part of what this is about. So, verse 16. For the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long of blue, purple, and scarlet yard. So that's going to be about 40 some odd cubits, 40 some odd feet. That is about 30 feet, 9 meters. So off 30 feet, 9 meters. Of scarlet, purple and scarlet yarn, finely twisted linen, and the work of an embroiderer, with 4 posts and 4 bays. All the posts around the courtyard are to have silver bands and hooks and bronze bases. The courtyard shall be 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide. C. That is 150 feet, or about 46 meters long, and about 75 feet, or about 23 meters wide. With curtains of finely twisted linen, 5 cubits high, and then that is about 7.5 feet, or about 2.3 meters, with bronze bases. All these All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it and those for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. So specifically stating that metal. Oil for the lampstands. Verse 20. Command the Israelites to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamps may be kept burning. In the tent of meeting, outside the curtain that is in front of the testimony, Aaron and his sons are to keep the lamps burning before the Lord from the evening till morning. So they have night shift. This is to be the lasting ordinance amongst the Israelites for generations to come. They are to keep the lamp burning every night for generations to come. So, let's keep that. That's what I can't even begin to think of a better way to end anything. Let's remember, as we go about the world and we interact with anybody and everybody, that the good Lord would really like us to keep the lamps burning every evening for everyone in the world. So go spread that joy. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. We are in the Niv. I know people have very strong emotional reactions about the Niv, but we're going to read all the versions of the Bible, and we just started with the Niv. And actually, I think the one where everybody says they left so much stuff out. Great. It'll be the basis of our comparison, and we'll destroy it verbally as we go on to other versions of the Bible. Please calm down. So, Matthew is the book that we're in. We're doing all of chapter 25, which is verses 1 through 46. The parable of the 10 virgins. Chapter 25, verse 1. At the time of the kingdom of heaven will be like, at the time of the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 of them were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise, however, took oil jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, a cry rang out, "Here is the bridegroom! Come out to meet him!" All the virgins woke up, trimmed their lamps. The foolish one said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied. "There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Sir, sir," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "I tell you the truth. I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." So this is the parable here. Like, you don't really have time in this world to go about in it acting a fool, sinning, hurting other people, not giving crap about feelings, treating your body or others with disrespect, talking to people like they're lesser than you, thinking you have the right to do all of that because you're going to have time to go ask him for forgiveness and get to heaven. No, there is no bank of karma goodness that keeps you on the slide to keep you from having to do any kind of penance or any of the rest of that stuff in order to... No. There is no time for that. You have to choose good in each individual moment, or you're in fact empirically not good by the definition here. There's no time for you to go look for what you were missing. because you didn't properly prepare. You didn't give it enough forethought. He's saying that's not his problem. The parable of the talents, verse 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his property to them. To one, he gave 5 talents. A talent was worth more than $1,000. Okay, so we're talking about money. Talents of money. Another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 talents went out at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more. Also, so with the one with 2 talents, gaining 2 more. But the one who had 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. So you had it, like you had your faith, and you did nothing with it. You had a big, beautiful, holy thing happen to you, a gift come in, and your answer was to do nothing with it. I don't. Just started to be like, oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 talents brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, but I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Okay? Do a good job for the sake of doing a good job. Get a good reward. The higher the responsibility you have, the more responsibility you have, the more responsibility, more responsible you need to be. The more you need to be responsibly focused on what you have in front of you. The man with 2 talents also came. Master, he said, you entrust me with 2 talents, and see, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come share in your master's happiness. Then the man who received 1 talent came. Master, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you had not sown, and gathering where you had not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I harvested where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. Why then should you have not put my money on deposit with the banker, so that when I returned, I would receive it back with interest? Why didn't you do what was smart? Take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, God doesn't take to the hiding of your expression of faith, because that's really what that parable translates to. The sheep and the goats. Verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will gather before him, and he will separate people from one another as a shepherd separates sheep from goats. He will put the sheep on the right and the goats on the left. Okay. The king will say to those on the right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, When did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king replied, "To tell you the truth, whoever did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me." Well, that's why I give the reminder. Remember, if you go out into the world and you're deliberately disrespectful to somebody, or you even feel like you have the right to be deliberately disrespectful to people, you are being deliberately disrespectful to Jesus by his words. Then he says to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels," for the ones that rebelled. "For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." If you are callous with your fellow humanity, you are not walking the narrow footpath that is the Christ consciousness. He's not giving you leeway to decide. You're not a disciple of his if you do not do those things voluntarily and willfully from heart. It's supposed to be second nature. Verse 44, "They will also answer, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you?' He will reply, 'I tell you the truth. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me.' Then they will go away to eternal punishment, and the righteous will have to eternal life." So there you have it, right from Matthew chapter 25. You can't get into eternal life or get into heaven and treat people in the 3D world terribly. You can't not care about their feelings. You can't not care if they're taken care of. You can't not care if bad things happen to them and get into heaven. Because when you do that, you also don't care about Jesus. Until a little while from now, friends. Hello, friends. Welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. We are in Bible study. I'm an ordained minister. We are in Psalms, book 1. We're in Psalm 31, and we're not doing the whole psalm because it's long. So we are doing verses 1 through 8 in this video. This is for the director of music. It's a psalm of David, which most of book 1 seems to be, right? So we're really getting to see the inner of David's heart. "In you, O Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Deliver me in your righteousness. Turn your ear to me. Come quickly to my rescue. Be my rock of refuge, a strong fortress to save me. Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead and guide me. Free me from the trap that is set for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Redeem me, O Lord, the God of truth. I hate those who cling to worthless idols." That is very true. "I trust in the Lord. I will be glad and rejoice in your love. For you saw my affliction and knew the anguish of my soul. You have not handed me over to the enemy, but have set my feet in a spacious place." And that is very true for me. Amen, friends. Amen.